We are dealing with the passages of Scripture that talk about our walk in the Christian life and walking with the Lord on a daily basis. Good morning. This is Pastor Ernie Lewis of the Blue Point Church in Sisney, Illinois, with your thoughts for Wednesday. You know, that walk can be blameless. It can be extremely blessed. But what about those days when we're called to walk through some troublesome times? In the Psalms, in Psalm 23 and verse 4, he says, "Yea, though I walk through the valley of the shadow of death, I will fear no evil, for you are with me. Your rod and your staff, they comfort me." Here, the psalmist is talking about the Lord being our shepherd and caring for his sheep. He may lead us by the green pastures, or he may take us to the still waters to restore our soul. We have to face it. There are also those times in life that might not be so pleasant. The valley of the shadow of death. In Jesus' day, that was actually what was termed as a ravine, overhung by these high cliffs that filled with dense forests, well calculated to inspire dread to the timid, and even giving a covert hiding place for those beasts of prey along the way. Perhaps this was the pathway from the lower grazing pastures to the upper ground where they could feed sumptuously, but it was not a pleasant trip. As sheep depended completely on their shepherd for direction as well as for protection in those days, this would be a frightening journey, even realizing the presence of their master and their leader here. But the psalmist calls for us to trust in God as he did. For he says, despite walking through the valley of the shadow of death, I will fear no evil. But take away the sheep being led on their journey and realize he's talking about us in our regular walk with the Lord. Certainly these valleys come all too often. Sometimes they are even bringing the shadow of death. Perhaps it's facing a terrifying diagnosis. Maybe it's even a financial challenge for our family that we really can't find any answers for. And maybe we're at that age where the shadow of death is just that. It's looking at the end of this life. What will that bring? And worrying about how that will come or how it will affect our family. But when we trust in the Lord completely, he says we should fear no evil because he is with us. Not only is that a promise of his comforting presence, but the reminder that he is all powerful when it comes to facing these kind of things. The shepherd realizes that his rod and his staff will comfort him. Now, that rod may be used as correction to bring us back into the right path, following the Lord where maybe we have strayed. Or it might also be just the staff that reminds us that he is close by for that protection we need or for that direction, maybe keeping us from the enemy that lurks out around us. But no matter what we face, we must realize the good shepherd is caring for us, his sheep. We need to be so dependent as the sheep who trust in the shepherd completely. For when we place our trust in the Lord, in his daily presence, we find that those dark shadows lift away. And we feel his rod and his staff that are bringing us the comfort and the direction that we need.